Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Congregation of Grand Traverse. I am Susan Smith, the coordinator of this service and a member of the Sunday Services Committee. We're glad to have you with us, whether in person or streaming from home. We are all in for a special treat today in the form of our own marvelous musicians and guests Bill Haggard and Keith Aleo providing percussion. In addition, our privilege and honor and treat is having Reverend Wendy Von Corder here with us again today. Today she will explore with us what it means to take the gloves off. I'm looking forward to this sermon because this is information that I really need. Our UUCGT mission statement refers to building beloved community, making good trouble, embodying radical love, and engaging in lifelong learning. And so in the words of James Vila Blake, I share the following with you. Love is the spirit of this church, and service is the law. This is our great covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, and to help one another. At the beginning of our orders of service, you will know our land acknowledgement, a request to silence electronic devices, and a notice about the book at the front of our sanctuary in which you can record your joys and concerns and or light a candle of commemoration as you prefer. Joni Jackson from the Congregational Care Team will read what you choose to share a little later in this service. One update to the order of service that Amanda Mangiardi is unable to be here to say, so others will perform instead for the centering and the meditation music. Here at the UUCGT, we are a pluralistic congregation, which means not only that we are different from one another in many ways, but that we are interested in knowing and understanding and feeling in our hearts the uniqueness of each one of you. And in seeking to know you better and to see the world through your eyes as well as our own, we are enriched as individuals and as a community. Accordingly, we enthusiastically embrace your differences and welcome you just as you are to our beloved community. Reverend Monica Jacobson Tennyson captures this sentiment in her writing, "Who you are enriches us all," which reads, "We say welcome to your joy, your hope, your pride. We say welcome to your grief, your fear, your anger, and the parts of you that are not yet ready to be seen and heard. Welcome to them as well." If you are new to our congregation or haven't been here for a while and are willing and able, you may stand to introduce yourself. Someone will bring you a microphone, which will allow even those streaming from home to hear your introduction. However, please feel free to remain seated and silent if you prefer. Is there anyone who would like to introduce themselves today?
Good morning. I'm Jackie. Oh, wait a minute. I'm headed down. I'll be right back. Hi, you guys know who I am, but I'm here to introduce my sister, Sarah Moore Cushell, and her two sons, Charlie and Joey, my nephews. Oh, I'm Holly Bird. Nice to see everybody.
Welcome, Sarah, Charlie, Joey.
Sorry, Sarah. I'm Jackie Carnegie Voltaire, And my husband, John Carnegie, and I are recent migrants from Texas, where it's getting to be kind of a hard place to live. And just we're happy to be here. I'm a lifelong Unitarian, was a Sunday school teacher for 12 years, and my dad was the RE in the Dallas church, if you say RE here, in the Dallas church, like in the early 50s, late 40s. So,
Welcome.
thank you.
Thank you. For our social hour following services, we have designated yellow mugs for those we haven't met previously or seen lately. This will allow us to identify you and welcome you personally during that hour. At this time, I request that we turn our attention to our centering music performed by Keith Aleo.
Good morning. Struck today by the beauty of our world, this wonderful gift of creation, and our place within that beauty, I offer these words of invocation by Barbara Peskin. For the beauty of the earth, this spinning blue-green ball, yes, Gaia, mother of everything, we walk gently across your back to come together again in this place, to remember how we can live, to remember who we are, to create how we will be. Gaia, our home, the lap in which we live, welcomes us.
As Reverend Wendy lights the chalice, I will lead the congregation in reading our covenant printed on the back of our order of service. I'm accountable for me. You're accountable for you. In community, we hold each other through joy and conflict. We openly welcome all as we respond to the needs of the world. As we listen to the reverberations of the singing bowl, let them reach into our core, marking our sacred time together, holding us tenderly in its sound. Please rise in body or spirit as we sing our opening hymn, number 361 in the gray hymnal.
So for a little extra fun this morning, let's get our blood flowing, and when we sing Joyful Day, kind of give a little bounce up on our tippy toes. For those of you that want to give it a try, let's practice. All right. And to rejoice and come in, and to rejoice and come in. Today will be a joyful day, and to rejoice and come in. Open your ears to each song, open your ears to the song. Today will be a joyful day, and to open your hearts, everyone. Open your hearts, everyone. Today will be a joyful day. Open your hearts, everyone. Don't be afraid of some change. Don't be afraid of some change. Today will be a joyful day. Don't be afraid of some change. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Today will be a joyful day. Enter, rejoice, and come in.
Good morning. All of my young friends, if you want to come up front here. Oh. My name is Chelsea. I'm the Director of Religious Education here at UUCGT. Kiddos, come on up. Good morning. How's everybody doing this morning? Good, good, good. Glad to see everybody. So this morning, and this whole month of October, we're in a new month, we're going to be talking about listening. How good are you at listening? Really good? I got a thumbs down, I got a thumbs up. I've got some really good, and I've got some maybe not so much good at listening. We're going to practice. It's okay. That's all right. Sometimes there's different things that we have to listen to, right? We have to listen to our parents. We have to listen to our teachers. We have to listen to our friends when we're talking to them. And sometimes we have to listen to ourselves. Do you ever listen to yourself? Yeah? Do you ever hear somebody say, listen to your heart? Is that something you've ever heard? Do you think they really mean your heartbeat? Or do they, like when you go to the doctor and they put the stethoscope up and they listen to your heart, is that what that means? No, what does it mean to listen to your heart? Anybody have any idea? Or sometimes they say, listen to your gut or go with your gut. My gut usually just tells me to eat a snack. Is that what your gut is that what your gut tells you? It says, I want cookies. Yeah, me too. But sometimes when we say listen to your heart or listen to your gut, we're not saying your real beating heart or your real grumbly tummy, right? We're saying listen to your body and listen to what your body is telling you to do. So we're going to practice something today. If you have something in your hand, set it down for me because you're going to need your hands for this. So grown-ups, this is for you too. So either in your wrist like right about here, or like right here in your neck. You're going to try to find your heartbeat. So with 2 fingers, don't use your thumb because you can also kind of feel it in your thumb. You can find, usually I find it better here. Just take a couple of deep breaths and see if you can count your heartbeats. Can you tap out the rhythm of your heartbeat? All right, now I need you to stand up. You're still trying to find it? Did you find it in your wrist? Did you find it here? Good. Sometimes you have to press in a little bit. All right, now you might be able to find it easier because now we're gonna run in place. Ready? Run in place. Go really fast. How fast can you go? How fast can you go? Get that heart rate up. Go, 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 go. Run in place, run in place. Okay, freeze. Now find your heartbeat. Find it again. Is it going faster? Just try to tap out the rhythm now. Mine's going a little bit faster. Is yours going faster? All right, let's sit back down. So our heartbeat changes, right? It responds to our body. Just like our inner voice might change depending on our situation. So I want you to think about something that makes you really excited. Shout it out, something that makes you really excited. A corgi. Seeing a dog, seeing any kind of a dog, but especially a corgi, absolutely. Something that makes you really excited, something that you love to do, maybe. Pet dogs. I love to pet dogs. I love to pet dogs. I love to play with my dog. What about something else that we love to do?
I did this yesterday at a place where you can get vegetables.
You went to the farmer's market? I love going to the farmer's market. Oh, it wasn't a farmer's market, but something kind of like that?
Yeah.
Like a farm stand or something? Nice.
I got to hold some really cute baby puppies.
No way. You are so lucky. You too? Lucky duckies, you got to hold baby puppies. Ollie, what's something that you like to do? You went to see yaks? No way. We get to see so many cool animals this weekend, guys. That's awesome. You got to pet a yak. What did it feel like? Was it like rough or was it? It had a hump on its back?
Yeah, there was a bowl.
Oh, okay. What about something you don't like to do? Ollie, what's something you don't like to do? Oh, you don't like when your cat dies? Absolutely. That's really sad, right? Yeah, when we lose a pet, that's very, very sad. What's something else? Getting rammed by a bull, that would definitely hurt. Ouch. Anything else we don't like to do? Or something that scares you, maybe? What's something that maybe is scary to you? Uh-oh. Your shoe's in rough shape, friend. Anybody else have anything? I think losing a pet is a good example. All right, we're going to close our eyes. And this is for the grown-ups too. So we listen to our heart. I want us to find our heartbeat again. So close your eyes, find your heartbeat again. And I want you to think about something that really excites you. Listening ears, please. We're practicing listening. I want you to think about something that makes you really excited. That could be going to see those new puppies. It could be going on a trip or a vacation. It could be maybe thinking about what you want to be when you grow up, right? And I want you to just listen to your body for a second. And in your body, I want you to put your hand where you feel that excitement. So feel in your body, if you're excited about something, where do you feel that excitement and what does it feel like? And then just keep a couple deep breaths and keep your hand there and just enjoy that feeling of excitement. Somebody's sleepy over here. All right, and now I want you to think about something that scares you or makes you nervous. Oh, shh, we're listening. We're listening to ourselves, and we're listening to those around us. So I want you to think about something that maybe is scary to you. Maybe you have a test coming up at school and you didn't get a chance to study. Or maybe thinking about losing one of your pets. 2 tests in a day, that's a big scary day. Maybe losing one of your pets is really scary, or it's really sad because it's already happened, right? Or family members, maybe a family member has been sick, right? So think about something that may be scary or sad, or having to make a big decision about something. Where do you feel that in your body, and what does it feel like? Put your hand where that feels, where you feel that in your body. Is it different? Is it a different feeling? So those are things that we can use to kind of guide us in the world, right? We can use those feelings in our body. Not necessarily when mom tells you to put on your shoes because it's time to go to school or come to church, right? That's not necessarily like, if your body's saying, no, I don't want to do that, sometimes we still have to listen to our parents, right? But sometimes our body will tell us if something is not right for us. And we need to learn to listen to those inner voices and those things in our body that say, yes, we're really excited. Mine usually is in my tummy. I get those like fluttery, excited feelings in my tummy. And then sometimes if it's a no, it's like up here in my throat. What did you guys feel? Where did you feel the like excited where did you feel it in your body? Hey, did you feel excited somewhere in your body? Did you put your hand somewhere that you were excited? In your knees? You got excited knees? You're just making a drum. I like it. So we got to listen to our bodies, right? We got to listen to those things in our bodies that tell us the right direction for us to go. All right, now, instead of us doing a song, we're going to let the grown-ups sing to us today, because we're going to do our usual children's song, but instead of us running out the door and not listening to the words, you guys can either turn around or you can just sit and listen if you're not comfortable turning around to face them. But they're going to sing a little song to you. I love it. All right?
Would you please join me in singing the children's benediction?
Now is the time for our offering when you so generously give to support the congregation and community needs in our area. Please note there are two sides to the baskets being passed. They are labeled congregation and community needs. Place your donations as you wish. If you're watching at home, you may give as described in the slide. Mail a check, visit the UUCGT website, download the Vanco Mobile Faith Engagement app, or pre-arrange with your bank for monthly transfer into the UUCGT account. However you give, you may always designate your gift as you choose for the congregation or for community needs. Let us enjoy our meditation music during the collection of our offering, performed by Kim Grebe and Anne Marie.
see, it's our practice as a religious community to set aside time in our service to honor the joys and the concerns that mark our lives, the milestones and moments of our lived experience. I will be sharing the joys and concerns that have been offered up for us to hold in our hearts today. If you have a joy or a concern that's a little bit too deep to share, please light a candle, and I see some people have, because we will be thinking of you. And you can reach out either to Reverend Alex or to one of us on the congregational care team. I'm wearing the stole, and I don't see anyone else here today. Oh, good, Ann Swaney is here. Ann, would you just stand up in case someone doesn't know who you are? There she is. So if any of you would like to help us care for the community, please have a chat with Ann or me or Joe Jennings, the co-chair, because we hope to have newer faces join us. None of us is meant to travel life's journey alone. So now this is what has been shared with the community. It's my joy to let you know that my husband of 57 years, my partner in all things, so kind, so loving, a hard worker and helper, he celebrated his 80th birthday yesterday. Much happiness, continued good luck, and life for Rick Walter. On this beautiful morning, it's a joy to see our new native plants thriving. After church, please join the discussion about things we might do to learn about this interconnection for the coming year. And Andy wrote this. I know that you had a lot to do with getting those plants here too. I see something on the other page, but it might have been read last week. It's by Cynthia. Cynthia, are you here today? Yes. I don't think has her first name, but she, I believe, is going to be, has moved?
She's gone home to Switzerland.
Oh. Did she write this last week? Okay. Then. So let us now have a moment of silence and just think about some of the joys and concerns we've heard and about the people that might have lit the candles. Thank you.
As we hold these joys and concerns in head and heart, as well as the many unspoken but certainly present in others and in ourselves, let us breathe together and take into the quiet these words from Zen Buddhist Thich Nhat Hanh. Let us be at peace with our bodies and our minds. Let us return to ourselves and become wholly ourselves. Let us be aware of the source of being common to us and all living things. Evoking the presence of the great compassion, let us fill our hearts with our own compassion toward ourselves and toward all living beings. Let us pray that we ourselves cease to be the cause of suffering to each other. With humility and awareness of the existence of life and of the sufferings that are going on around us, let us practice the establishment of peace in our hearts and on earth. Join me now in a time of silence. Now we'll remain seated as we sing our response, Spirit of Life.
Our reading today is entitled A New National Anthem. It's by Ada Limon, who is the 24th Poet Laureate of the United States, appointed in July 2022. The truth is, I've never cared for the national anthem. If you think about it, it's not a good song. Too high for most of us with the rocket's red glare. And then there are the bombs. Always, always there is war and bombs. I sang it at homecoming and threw even the tenacious high school band off key. But the song didn't mean anything, just a call to the football field, something to get through before the pummeling of youth. And what of the stanzas we never sing? The third that mentions no refuge could save the hireling and the slave. Perhaps the truth is every song of this country has an unsung third stanza, something brutal snaking underneath us as we blindly sing the high notes with beer sloshing in the stands, hoping our team wins. Don't get me wrong, I do like the flag, how it undulates in the wind like water, elemental, and best when it's humbled, brought to its knees, clung to by someone who has lost everything, when it's not a weapon, when it flickers, when it folds up so perfectly you can keep it until it's needed, until you can love it again. Until the song in your mouth feels like sustenance, a song where the notes are sung by even the ageless woods, the short grass plains, the Red River Gorge, the fistful of land left unpoisoned. That song that's our birthright, that's sung in silence when it's too hard to go on. That sounds like someone's rough fingers weaving into another's. That sounds like a match being lit in an endless cave. The song that says, my bones are your bones, and your bones are my bones. And isn't that enough?
Friends, it's time to take the gloves off. Now, perhaps you're thinking, so much for pacifism. Is she calling us to take to the streets, get in people's faces, insist they hear us out about why all votes should be cast for our candidate? Aren't we supposed to be a peaceful people? And whoa, she's not actually going to name a candidate, is she? That's not allowed, though practiced in some corridors of our country. She's not going to jeopardize our nonprofit status by endorsing a candidate, is she? And doesn't that phrase, gloves off, mean it's time to do harm, fight dirty with little regard for our opponent? Aren't we supposed to be the folks who care about fairness, about the inherent worth and dignity of every human being, about truth? Has she fallen from grace, from God or goddess? This UU minister, and actually can UUs fall, if not from grace or goddess, perhaps fallen morally or spiritually? It's time to take the gloves off, friends. Now, if the title had you hoping for a spirited, fight terminology-laden sermon calling us into the world ring to duke it out with the enemy, fortified with the certain knowledge that we are in the right, the enemy is in the wrong, and the ends will justify the means, I'm about to disappoint you. It might not be the first time. I promise you it will not be the last. It's not that the stakes aren't high. It's not even that I think that it's not a fight. And it's not that I do not hold an unshakable belief that a particular vote is essential if we are to save our democracy, our planet, our bodies, and our souls. I do. But that's not the message we need to hear. Nor does this gathered community need convincing. But it is time to take the gloves off. Let me explain. I cannot speak for all Unitarian Universalists, but this Unitarian, then Unitarian Universalist, was raised in this faith to be polite, to not push one's religion or politics or much of anything on others except for hors d'oeuvres, a cocktail, and an invitation. Ours, dear, was a polite, AKA elite, religion. We never said it out loud, well, at least loudly out loud, that we were the ones who had it right, the ones who used reason as part of our theology. But it was considered crass to point that out and to evangelize just out of the question. Add to this Unitarian Universalist, UU rearing, identity-based influences of being a New Englander, living in a very, very, very social family, and being a girl, then young woman. For me, there were layers of expectations to be polite, non-confrontational, and to smooth out waves rather than create any. But New England and gender aside, the UU piece of this was not small. The respect for many truths spiritually helped contribute to that oft-quoted, shallow from my perspective, phrase, oh, UUs can believe anything they want. But more harmfully, I believe, it contributed to a we versus them culture that is doing so much harm today. That harm having exponentially increased at the same rate as Elon Musk's, Mark Zuckerberg's, and Jeff Bezos's inordinate wealth. Our democracy is in a hot mess today, and it's dangerous. There are people frightened to put up signs reflecting their beliefs and choices. Our reluctance to engage in difference has contributed to a fear to do so, and it is a fear well-founded. How did we ever get here? I ask this with an emphasis on the word we. Regardless of the outcomes on November 5th, we are faced today with an opportunity to move forward differently if we are serious about wanting that kind of outcome that Ada Limon speaks of in a new national anthem. To move from a flag used as a weapon in an anthem written by a racist to a future that acknowledges our full story, from boarding house schools to our current climate, physical and spiritual. to a future in which our anthem emerges from the land and the water and that which unites us all of us. If we're serious about that desire, that belief, that call, we must move forward differently. I speak with you this morning not about who to elect, but I believe a more important task. What we are called to in this moment is arguably, though I waver in head and heart as I say this, is more important than achieving the results I believe we collectively seek in the election. I waver in head and heart because I would be lying if I said I don't cringe at the thought of what damage certain practices and policies will do should greed-based politics gain power. I would be lying if I didn't acknowledge the fear in my heart as I imagine greater risk for the already at high risk among us. I would be lying if I said that I will not do all I can do to impact positive change through my vote on November 5th and the vote of others, and in all elections. All of that is important. But to be faithful is to heed the call to change how we relate to all of our neighbors in the coming months, years, and lifetimes. To be faithful requires that we understand and own how we got here. There are reasons that people vote against their best interests. There are reasons that people put aside character as a value in our leaders. There are reasons that some demonize those not towing the party line. There are reasons violence is embedded in political campaigns. Reasons some stormed our Capitol, costing others their lives and many their current liberty. There are reasons fellow siblings attacked election workers with words, threats, and harassment, leaving some unwilling to ever serve again because they feared harm to themselves, their families, and their property. There are reasons people turn away from truth to worship false idols. And there are reasons others are so planted in believing the only pathway forward is through force, whether that be through toppling or securing a new administration. And there are reasons so many of us, from all walks and roles of life, affirm and feed them versus us. Ada Limon wrote, "Perhaps the truth is every song of this country has an unsung third stanza. Something brutal snaking underneath us as we blindly sing the high notes with the beer sloshing in the stands, hoping our team wins. Just as we, the people, were all part of the taking of indigenous land, the enslavement of people, the exploitation of immigrants, of women, of child workers, of the disabled, the destruction of indigenous children's lives, the denigration of our lesbian, gay, bisexual, and trans siblings, we, the people, are here right now. This is us. So what will we do about it?" Back to the gloves. The phrase, "the gloves come off," is rooted in boxing. Boxers don their gloves to protect their hands and to soften their punches. The gloves make a sport that is brutal at its core, safer for both combatants. Gloves off then equates to a bare knuckle fight, a combat without any concern of safety for either the giver or the receiver of the blow. My reference today is not a call to aggression, taking off our gloves in order to inflict pain, rather a call to drop the gloves that protect our own egos, our own vulnerabilities, our own sense of pride and superiority. We need to remove that which marks our engagement as a battle and one sanitized by gloves. gloves that keep us from touching one another, from knowing one another, from leaning in to listen beyond words to the heart and the soul of others, to know the answers to those reasons and to share our own. I've touched President Joe Biden's hands, not in order to shake one of his hands, not in order to shake it, but in an attempt to literally hold him accountable. It happened at the New Hampshire State Democratic Convention in 2019. I was part of a delegation sent to bird dog all of our candidates, get them on video speaking about, in this case, immigration policy. We were chasing them with a coffin, by the way, with pictures of the children who had died, a child-sized coffin, who had died in the hands of ICE. He was heading down a set of stairs surrounded by security. I reached down to shake his hand, and he took it, so I grabbed it and didn't let go as I asked about family separation and children in cages at the border while a colleague captured it on video. His response, "But we didn't do it." We didn't do it. We did, and we do. But in retrospect, the hands I wished I'd touched that year are those who are differently hurting, differently afraid, differently touched by the policies of our nation, including our inhumane immigration policies, differently shaped by the societal influences of their upbringing, differently formed because of the sources of information they access. But that, of course, is more frightening. That requires that we shed our reticence to risk, again, our own egos, our own firmly held beliefs, our resistance to move and to grow, our distaste of being wrong, complicit, accountable, if even just in part. As much as I ponder how we got to this very binary place in our country, I also wonder how I might be had I been raised to engage rather than skirt around difference politely, difference that was judged wrong from the start. How our faith might be were that a tenet of our religion. Now, UUCGT's tenacious and prophetic social justice action team has some calls to action that I'd like to share with you now, as soon as I find that piece of paper. Here we go. The first is to get a button, if you don't already have one, and to put it on. And I'm told that there are actually some coaching that they're happy to give to you. It looks kind of like this in a supermarket. Have you? You're voting, right? But if you already have one, take another and find somebody to give it to. If they'll let you, take more than one or two and find more people, and not people who you know are eager to wear it in the same way that you wear it. They didn't say that. I'm adding that in. The second is the calendar, Wednesday, October 9th, right here from 4 to 5 p.m. I won't be offended if you take out your phone. Keep it on worship mode, please, but add that to your calendar right now from 4 to 5 p.m. There's a TED Talk that's going to happen here called How to Spot Authoritarianism. Whoa, that was a mouthful. And Choose Democracy, followed by discussion and then optionally the potluck. On their call to action list is go to their table in the other room. You'll see lots of resources there. There's a photo op that's quite fun, it looks like. Do that too. Sign up. Go to Plan Your Vote and decide, if you haven't voted already, how you will and when and where. That's their list, and each of those are important. Each is an important response to the call of our faith and our democracy and our lives. Please do deliver yourself to their table. But I offer a different call to action. An and call to action, not instead. to consider those we see crossing what seems to be rigid, unmovable, binary boundaries with bare hands, risking much and moving us forward in positive manners. Liz Cheney comes to mind, much to my surprise. A staunch neoconservative with whom I part in almost all ways, perhaps always, yet today perhaps serves as a role model. In our reading this morning, Ada Limon's The New National Anthem, she shared her journey from indifference to our anthem through discovery and betrayal toward a new tomorrow defined by unity. Journalist Donnell Dresse noted, "The poem shines a light on what is missing from the Star-Spangled Banner. Our collective identity as co-creators, fellow inhabitants, neighbors, and shared stewards of the extraordinary American landscape." The call to action I offer is a simple question. What will you do beyond all things November 5th to move us toward that shared stewardship, not by inviting or coercing those with differing political views in, rather by co-creating with those same siblings? What personal work might that require? I'll raise my hand for saying it requires some on my part. It requires more courage. It requires more humility. It requires courage, lots of it, to actually step in and do that. But it won't only require that of me, it will require that of everyone. How might you show up? How might you lead? How might you follow? How might this congregation do the same? In her poem, The Invitation, Oriah Mountain Dreamer writes, "I want to know if you can live with failure, yours and mine, and still stand at the edge of the lake and shout to the silver of the full moon, yes, we the people have failed, and we are at the edge of the lake. The full moon beckons, friends. My great hope is that our yes becomes evident in word today and deed tomorrow and the next day and all that follow. May it be so." I invite you into a moment of stillness, of quiet. It was the practice of the congregation I served in Marblehead to use that time to set intentions, to decide here in this space, how do I leave differently? What are my intentions as I leave this place because I joined in this community and heard this message this morning? Take just a moment. And now won't you rise in body or spirit and join in our closing hymn, Emma's Revolution. Let's keep on moving forward.
Gonna keep on moving forward. Keep on moving forward. Keep on moving forward. Never turning back. Never turning back. Gonna keep on moving proudly. Keep on moving proudly. Gonna keep on singing loudly. Keep on singing loudly. Keep on singing loudly. Never turning back. Never turning back. Gonna reach across our borders. Reach across our borders. Reach across our borders. Never turning back. Never turning back. Gonna end the occupation. End the occupation. End the occupation. Never turning back. Never turning back. Gonna stop these wars together. Stop these wars together. Stop these wars together. Never turning back. Never turning back. Gonna keep on moving forward. Keep on moving forward. Keep on moving forward. Never turning back. 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 Never turning back.
While Reverend Wendy releases the flame, I will share a writing of Howard Zinn's found in You Can't Be Neutral on a Moving Train, as he speaks of hopefulness in bad times. He says to be hopeful in bad times is based on the fact that human history is a history not only of cruelty, but also of compassion, sacrifice, courage, kindness. What we choose to emphasize in this complex history will determine our lives. If we see only the worst, it destroys our capacity to do something. If we remember those times and places, and there are so many where people have behaved magnificently, this gives us the energy to act and at least the possibility of sending this world in a different direction. And if we do act in however small a way, we don't have to wait for some grand utopian future. The future is an infinite succession of the present. And to live now, we think human beings should live, to live now as we think human beings should live, in defiance of all that is bad around us, is itself a marvelous victory. And in Adam Slate's words, this is how we keep the chalice flame burning until we are together again to light it anew. I have some announcements that Reverend Alex gave me to share, and I apologize in advance if they're too long, but that's not my doing. And Alex, if you're watching out there, today, after the service at 11:45, Sacred Ground is having a planning meeting. Educational and opportunities and activities for the coming year will be added to the 24-25 calendar, and program planning can begin. Maybe you'd like to learn why planting natives is so important to our very existence. Perhaps you'd like for us to plan an activity for you and your grandchildren. The ideas raised at the meeting will be added to the calendar for 24-25. Join this brief meeting or share your ideas with Andy Kramer. There is an easel board of volunteer opportunities outside of the sanctuary, listing those opportunities within UUCGT. Please take a minute to review it and sign on a Talk to Me line for someone to contact you to discuss the opportunity. Get involved and you won't regret it. And starting point classes coming up for newcomers and current UU members, starting with next Sunday and for 4 consecutive Sundays from 12 to 2 p.m. in the sanctuary after services. The classes can be taken as a 4-part series, but can also be taken individually without the preceding class as a prerequisite. Starting point experience leaves participants with an easy to remember and easy to share understanding of UU theology and history. Inspired by the classic UU slogan, "Deeds, not creeds," we present Unitarian Universalism as a particular way of journeying through the world rather than a set of beliefs to which one assents. Today, people are not so much looking for an organization to join as they are searching for companions to travel with. Their primary question is no longer, do these people think and believe like I do, but will this place provide me with tools and partners for my journey? We explain that this shared UU journey is made up of 3 fundamental and distinct UU spiritual practices: listening to one's deepest self, opening to life's gifts, and serving needs greater than our own. All are now invited to stand and either join or outstretch hands for Reverend Wendy's benediction.
You're doing great. Wow. Hold on a minute. There we go. But rest your hands for just a minute because there's one more announcement. And that is that the 20th cohort of URJ, Understanding Racial Justice, a program of the fabulous Title Track. Holly T. Bird is one of the co-EDs of that. Started this past Tuesday, and it's not too late to join us. We have another member joining next week. We'll meet the next 4 Tuesdays from 6 to 8 p.m. on Zoom. It's particularly exciting to have 3 members of the Children's Museum staff as part of this cohort. It's part of their commitment to offer a welcome to all people, and knowing that they need to do some learning to get there. And now, our words of benediction. Won't you prepare yourselves? Once again, beautifully. As we part, may we find a way to move closer to the world we know must be, the world in which all children of creation are truly welcome, in which all gifts are not just valued, but seen as integral to the very breath of our collective community. May it be so, friends. May it be so.